So last time we looked at a good Armada toy. Well, the second most common request was to review a good Beast Machines toy. What do you people want? I'm trying so hard to please you people, but sometimes, oh man, you ask me for the moon. But I will deliver. So here is my favorite from the Beast Machines line, BlackArachnia. Now, I might be reviewing this toy because a fan sent it to me way long ago, or it might have to do with what happened a few nights ago, which was me in the middle of a marathon of scripting after about an hour of being in the zone and focused in on my monitor. From above, just descending into my peripheral vision, a massive spider about a foot from my face. It's like a jump scare out of a horror game. Ugh. And then it crawled into my desk and found a place to hide, and I couldn't find it, and I was paranoid on my desk for the rest of the night. But that's beside the point. We're talking about a toy here. And the first thing we are going to point out, yes, the colors are not accurate to the show. Mainframe started animating Beast Machines before the final toy designs were made. You design something and then you find out, well, that's not possible as a toy. So things get refined down, things change, colors change based on what else is coming out, etc., etc. It's a bunch of toy politics, and that's why everything's inaccurate. So we're going to forgive that she's purple and not magenta or maroon like she should be, but form-wise, she actually does pretty good. She is a Black Widow spider, although, of course, she does not have the colors of which. You can tell because down here, she actually has the hourglass shape on the underside of the abdomen, which is totally not her robot mode head. It's totally not. Everything else, quite nice. Now, you'll notice she's one of the few bug transformers that can actually stand on her own legs. The downside to this being the 7th and 8th legs of the spider are all the way up here, and they clearly do not reach the ground. So that is a bit of a disappointment. But hey, 6 of the legs make it to the ground. The other legs are there. I'm going to give it to the toy here. And it really is cool. Like, I really dig this mode. I mean, now I will say I wish the articulation allowed the legs to come up and then down, more like how you'd see a spider, but the jointage just isn't there. But there are still plenty of joints around here. I mean, that's all ball jointed. That's on a ball joint, so you can move that around. Everything is hinged. All this is ball jointed and hinged and swivel, and it's all really nice. So you've got a lot of range in the legs that she has, even like swivel and ball joints on these. There's a lot you can do with this little spider. You can flatten her out and make her look like really creepy-like, and you can't see that because it's so low on the camera, but there you go. Imagine dangling that in front of your mom's face when she's not expecting it. Ooh, that would not end well. Well, it would not end well for BlackArachnia, at least. So yeah, I really, really dig the spider mode. The colors are, bizarre, which that was Beast Machines in a nutshell. The metallic purple is really nice, like really nice plastic color. Really wish they used that more often. And yeah, she does have gold plastic all over, but there's no swirling to it, and I've never heard of any GPS problems with her. So I'm going to give that a pass and say it looks okay with the purple. Not sure about the green cheetah spots, but yeah, whatever. We'll say she's an exotic spider. I actually kind of like this. You see this little thing, which I assume is her web shooter on the thorax, and then, is that a thorax? I don't know. And then you see all of this extra detailing, all the layers. I love the layers of plastic in here, and you can see through. There's some, what I guess is like a bank of webbing, a lot of stringy molding in there. And over here, the Maximal spark crystal. This was when they started using, they carried the spark crystals over from Transmetal 2, so they all had them somewhere on there, and hers was in her butt. Take that for what it is. Now, you'll also notice the main section here, the head, is all translucent yellow plastic. And I got to point this out, because this is a pre-owned toy. As I said, a fan sent it to me. So, someone apparently tried to dot the eyes with a Sharpie. Normally, I would try to avoid showing that, but I do have to show you the green that's painted on the eyes underneath. There are extra eyes painted in, 6 of them in all, but only the bottom two have been painted in, which is a real disappointment. Also disappointing, there's a lot of little details molded in that you can't see because of that plastic. This is one of the reasons I don't like translucent plastic, aside from, well, if it's molded incorrectly or if it's being used for the wrong part, it's prone to breaking on its own. It washes out so many details, and it's hard to even make out the eyes on this toy at some angles. What I will show you is there is a gimmick to it. Squeezing down these parts opens up the front legs and makes the fangs go up and down. And ooh, it's a really creepy effect. Ooh, and that's a lot of little gearing and springs inside there to make that work. Someone at home has arachnophobia and is really creeped out right now. I gotta stop that. So the beast mode actually works really well, and of course it is far more in line with the shape of a black widow spider than the last BlackArachnia I reviewed. So what about the robot mode's shape? Well, we'll go ahead and transform her by closing up the legs here, and I really like how her actual robot mode legs split to make the spider legs. This keeps the extra kibble and parts to a minimum. We will move this upwards, revealing most of her body. This goes up and underneath the hair. Here. Spin around, and now we rotate this, close the legs up to form the hips. And from there, well, now there's not much we can do about these, so we'll just tuck them in there to eliminate some of that extra partage. And here we are, BlackArachnia robot mode. Ta-da! Now, if I recall right, it was the Transmetal Air Razor that was the first toy specifically molded to be a female character. Here, there is absolutely no doubt. And like even that Transmetal was a little ambiguous. This definitely the femme fatale appearance. She's got big hips, very thin waist. She's a little bit anorexic, but hey, we love her anyway. Take a look at the head, and creepy head as it is, Beast Machine's heads were like far more human than I thought they should have been, and it was a little bit disturbing sometimes. I do like how much detail is in there. Her eyes are lined, they are green, and they actually painted in her lips. And the face, I believe, yeah, the face is painted purple. Because aside from the legs, nothing's molded, it's all paint. Very nicely done. And yes, stop staring at her chest, you creepo. You can also see she has a ton of detailing all over her. Lots of little panel lines over all the new parts from robot mode. A lot of it does carry over from beast mode, so like nothing in the legs is too much of a surprise. I do like how it all comes together though. Nicely formed and symmetrical and all that. Death the Kid would be proud. I really dig the design on this toy. I actually really like it. I also like these. It's like these super creepy little hands. We can fold these out, and so she had these massive middle fingers. I just reviewed the Max toy for Toycember, so this is a little bit familiar. Gigantic middle finger claws. Yeah, that's what she thinks of the Beast Machine's TV show. It's cheap humor because, but look at that. Now I will give you big old butt. But at least she had a butt in the show, so this works. And what else are you gonna do with that big spider butt anyway? Just hanging out the side. Whatever. At least it's in her backside, right? Right. Now there are some gimmicks to her this way. Well, I say that there's one gimmick where, just like in the show, you can lift this up and expose more eyes. So she has 6 in all in robot mode. Ironically, all colored here, whereas in beast mode, the eyes, only 2 of them are colored. Funny. But it's a neat little gimmick. Well, it's hard to call it a gimmick. It's just a little trick she does. It's creepy, but it's appropriate. And it's a show-accurate thing, so that works too. But what's really good about her is the articulation, because she's absolutely loaded with the stuff. See, the neck does rotate, and there's a little bit of a hinge to it too, so you can move that around. Waist rotates, that's left over from transformation. Ball-jointed shoulders, ball-jointed elbows, and a swivel just under the elbows. You've got ball-jointed hips with a lot of range all the way around. Some good knees, very long feet on both sides. So she can form some pretty dynamic poses and still manage to keep her balance. If the joints are actually tight enough to do it, that is. So you can get her in some really cool poses. She can look really dynamic and badass, which is what BlackArachnia needs to look like. Way more badass than her boyfriend in the show. Yeah. That's the nice thing about those big heel spurs. Like, she is not obstructed by that big old button anyway. So that is Beast Machine's BlackArachnia. Toy that was also redone a couple times in universe as another BlackArachnia, and then as a completely different character from a different faction, except the only thing different about her was a slightly different shade of yellow-orange plastic. So considering that, I'd say this is still probably one of the better paint jobs for the toy. And yes, I know Japan did it more accurate. You know how expensive that thing is? I'd own it if it wasn't for that. But I like her for what she is. And I really appreciated when the fans sent it to me, because it was a really cool surprise. And now, I gotta figure out what another good Beast Machines toy is, because I might be all out after this. I don't know, don't request it for a while. I'll get back to you when I have some idea.